The Edmonton Oilers make several depth signings as they try to prove to everyone, hey, we can actually do stuff today and sign players instead of losing players or trading them, as they've already lost Victor Arvidsson to the Boston Bruins in a trade earlier today, and Connor Brown to the New Jersey Devils, and Corey Perry to the Los Angeles Kings, and John Klingberg to the San Jose Sharks. But the Oilers making more moves, not huge moves, but still moves nonetheless. But we are moving towards 4,000 subscribers there, so if you haven't done so already, folks, make sure you subscribe here to the channel for any and all Oiler news. Now let's get right into it, shall we? With kicking off with a bang, little sarcasm there, but still, the Oilers kicking off the summer with what appears to be some sort of a bang there. And there's supposed to be a Stan Bowman press conference later on tonight, yeah, where it was delayed a whole bunch of times from Zach Lang. There you can see the bottom tweet. Bowman's presser has now been pushed to 5 p.m. And for the third time, the presser has been pushed back, now set for 5:30 p.m. But that's not it, folks. The Oilers Bowman presser apparently was pushed back furthermore to 6:30, and then eventually from Preston Hodgkinson here, there will be no Stan Bowman press conference tonight. So we won't be hearing from Stan. Hopefully we hear from Stan tomorrow. Who knows if he was cooking up something with one of the other GMs in the NHL, or if he just forgot he had a press conference tonight and put it off for who knows how long there. But we didn't put off was two depth signings. There's yours, cap space up against the wall there, 4.5 million, even with lots of subtractions. They're still waiting on a potential Adam Henrique deal. But for the Oilers in the Bakersfield Condors, bolstering the farm team down in California, the Oilers signed Riley Stillman, almost like Corey Stillman, that's his father, Riley Stillman, to a 2-year contract. The defenseman inked a 2-way deal with Edmonton, played 5 games with the Carolina Hurricanes last season. There you can see $775,000 for 2 years. 27-year-old, a defenseman with a left-hand shot there, 6'1", 196. You can see he's been around the block there, played with Oshawa in Hamilton in the OHL, and then went up and down through the AHL to the NHL, playing with Florida, Chicago, Vancouver, Buffalo, in Carolina. So Stan Bowman very familiar with Riley Stillman, and you can see his best season was with Chicago there in 2021-22. There, not a whole lot to write home about. 12 points in 62 games, but still, for the Oilers, it's a low risk depth signing there. You can see his analytics, even though it's a small sample size here, still not the best. But again, for the Oilers, a depth signing, that's what it is at the end of the day. And even going back to his Buffalo days, sure, very average for the even straight offense, 53% there. But when it comes to defense, you pretty much don't ask him to play defense whatsoever there. I mean, the Oilers have had a few guys like that at all. But from Jason Gregor here, that wasn't just the only signing here for the Oilers, but unfortunately the Oilers did not submit the qualifying offers to the RFAs, Olivier Rodrigue, Cameron Wright, and Jacob Perreault, who they acquired from I do believe, the Montreal Canadiens there earlier on in the season. They are all now free agents, which is very unfortunate because, Olivier Rodrigue has been in the Oilers organization for, the past 5-6 years. There you can see 2018, he was drafted in the second round there by the Oilers, and they decided after 5 years they had enough of him there after 2 games in the NHL. So probably didn't see, the NHL quality starter in Olivier Rodrigue, which was unfortunate because, I had high hopes for him when he started the one game against Seattle. When Skinner in Pickard, the Skinner injury, I should say, the concussion he suffered against Dallas, and Pickard, and they call up Olivier Rodrigue. I thought he had something, but management thought otherwise. There you can see when it comes to the Bakersfield Condors goalies, they don't have a lot. Brett Brochu, Olivier Rodrigue, Colin Dealey is a free agent. Olivier Rodrigue is a free agent, and Brett Brochu apparently went to Germany, so he's now in the DEL of the German league. So the Oilers, in their depth goalies, they don't have anybody currently signed to play in Bakersfield. And from Bob Stauffer on Oilers Now, he said the Oilers are going to get a goaltender today, and that got everybody's hopes up. They go, okay, who are we going to get? Who are we going to sign? Who are we going to trade for? And again, not very, exciting, but still, nonetheless, a goalie has been signed, folks. Careful what you wish for. The Oilers signed Matt Tompkins to a 2-year contract. He also inked a 2-way deal with Edmonton and has played 6 career games with the Tampa Bay Lightning, also at 775,000 there. Also, he's 31 years old, has been in contact with Stan Bowman. He was a Stan Bowman draft pick there. 6'4", 192. And just taking a look at his career stats there, started off with the Sherwood Park Crusaders there. He's also from Edmonton, so I mean there's an Edmonton connection. If he ever happens to share the crease with Stuart Skinner, that's an Edmonton tandem there, folks. I mean, you can't go wrong with that whatsoever there. But also drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks in 2012 there, played with Rockford, did not play at all with the Chicago Blackhawks on the main team there, but again, his only NHL expertise has come with the Tampa Bay Lightning there when Andrei Vasilevsky started on the start of the season on IR there, as he had that surgery during the off season. Now with Edmonton, you can see there the expertise there. I mean, he's been around the block as well, played for Team Canada at the 2022 Olympics with starting 3 games, I do believe, and he won twice and lost 1. But with Matt Tompkins and Riley Stillman, again, these are depth pieces for the Oilers. Again, when it comes to the Oilers and just trying to get your hopes up, my thoughts are, hey, don't get your hopes up at all whatsoever there. And the Oilers fans hitting refresh on socials every second and hoping for an actual signing there. You can see all the other teams in the NHL, getting better. The Vegas Golden Knights acquiring Mitch Marty. The LA Kings, I don't want to say are getting better, as they signed, Cody Ceci to 4 years at $4.5 million, which is, why would you possibly do that? But again, the Oilers with Stan Bowman, hopefully they can cook something when it comes to, trying to get to the start of the regular season with a team that could look completely different from what we saw in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. Like I said, we're still waiting on a potential Adam Henrique trade, as the Two Mataki podcast had teased at an Adam Henrique trade. We all saw the Victor Arvidsson trade earlier today, but for the Oilers, in their goaltending situation, again, it wouldn't surprise me if they started the season with a Skinner in Pickard tandem and then try to get something during the season or at the trade deadline. We all saw, Colorado acquire Mackenzie Blackwood during the season. I do believe it was in November there, so it is possible to get a goalie, outside of the trade deadline, but it's very hard to also acquire, a starting goalie caliber at the trade deadline. All you're looking for is, a veteran piece or a backup to run a tandem with during the playoffs. As during the playoffs, running a tandem seems to be what works, or it almost worked for the Edmonton Oilers. But that is it for today's video. I mean, again, not the most exciting signings for Stan Bowman and the rest of the Oilers, but still their signings nonetheless. And more depth doesn't always hurt you in that case, folks. But enjoy the rest of your Canada Day, and we will be back with lots of Oiler news this week. Take care, everybody. I'm Matt.